I just hit the record button right there. Guys, Curtis,
I knew that was
James,
gonna happen.
Pieces of a Dream, thank you so much for just giving me a minute of your time after your sound check. Mainly because I've been a fan of your music for quite some time. You guys don't know this, but there's been several times in my life y'all didn't help me out, and y'all didn't even know. We just met today. I
Okay.
mean,
Uh-oh. Do tell.
a few times. One of the times, was with my way back, way before the ring. Before I got the ring, there was some times where I could just cut on any one of y'all songs and everything I said sound butter because y'all did all the groundwork. I mean, after the ring it worked. Who are we kidding? I mean, like
I hear you.
the All In. I mean, that album. Thank you. You may or may not be responsible for my son, but we'll chop that up later.
From what I understand, we were responsible for
I mean, like I'm pretty sure that I'm not the first person to say that.
generation of kids.
And also a long time ago, my niece now, she's a teenager. She don't think I'm cool no more and all that. But when she was a baby, one thing we used to put on here in Detroit, we had a V98.7. She would cry and whine. She couldn't go to sleep. But they had Pieces of a Dream night for whatever. They was just playing all your hits.
Oh my goodness.
And we put that on, just like, all right, whatever. Went to sleep immediately. So from here on out, when she got fussy, we just reached and got a Pieces of a Dream CD, and we're just like, all right,
Put her right on
we'll
out.
put her right on out. I wonder if it still work because she in her teenage years now. I'll probably try it out later on. She get a little lippy.
Sure enough.
We just try it out. But what I'm saying, thank you guys so much. But I mean, like I could go over the history, but we don't do this Tarantino style. Just like the latest album, Just Funkin' Around. I love it. You guys have been collaborating for over 40 years doing your thing. And this new one, I am partial to the songs New Day. I like New Day. Kind of like Manhattan, but that New Day is up there with me, the title track. But
Okay.
please tell us a little bit about the album, the new one.
Well, it is really funk, funk, as the title depicts. Really, if you listen to it, there's no ballads. There's no real ballad on there. Some slower things, but we really want to just kind of dig into the funk side. Piece of a Dream has so many facets to it. We got our sensuous side, our funk side, our soulful side, kind of R&B side, gospel side,
Some pop.
and
Yeah,
some pop,
I've heard it.
So and this was a really major collaborative effort between Curtis and myself, and as well as the other members of the group.
Now, one of the things I was very interested in because my intel, I think y'all stay in two different cities, New York and Cleveland. Once again, sorry about that. It's a big incident.
That's all right.
But how do you guys collaborate? Because our whole last podcast was just, I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. They're kind of like my redheaded stepchild. Detroit ain't in it, and y'all beat us, so I'm doubly mad at LeBron. But
Yeah.
so yeah. This
Well,
last
we actually some of our collaboration is over the internet.
okay.
We'll send files back and forth to each other, but on some of these albums, I'll go to his studio, or he's recently come to mine, and we actually find that working together in person sometimes kind of puts that extra oomph in the song, especially like songs like Right Back at You, On the Move, and I find that we work better together when we're actually right in front of each other in the same studio doing what we do.
Okay, I mean, and usually when you have that closeness, I guess, I mean, you guys, like I said, over 40 years of being together, I'm pretty sure you can kind of remotely do it, like you say, like when you go on the internet and you Skype and you do things, but when you're together, whatever that fuel that you guys have for all this time.
Yeah, that chemistry. There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
So a lot of these tunes, they're recorded live, and live tracks, live drums, live bass. So it's a mixture of a few different techniques in order to create this cohesive project.
Speaking of this, not just this project, but all of them. You guys been working together for so long. I gotta know, like, how do you guys keep the magic going? How do you guys, like, still stay interested? Whereas, like, all right, I got this new thing, or hear this, or how does that work out? Or because out of 40 years, some some people have been, man, I heard that one before. Or how does I mean, like, how does y'all keep
Well, that's
that
the one
fire
thing.
going?
I think the one thing that we've not done is been repetitious in our writing,
No, you haven't.
and I think that kind of keeps us interested in not only our stuff that we write individually, but stuff that it's like I like the stuff he writes, he likes the stuff that I write, and it keeps us interested in each other's each other's songs
Right.
as well. But like you said, man, over 40 years together, it's like we're like brothers, man.
Yeah.
We went junior high, high school, college, all the way up to now. So we've got it's like one person or one brain with two people, two different people.
I
You
get
know
it.
what I mean?
And
Yeah.
when you guys gel together, man, you guys make some great stuff. Like your origins, you came up in that Philadelphia sound where
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys, you got Grover Washington, you got just the entire sound of Philadelphia. Now that we just getting into it, I got to know who influenced you because at that time you guys were the young kids. You guys were the young guys on the
Right.
block.
Yeah, we were like, 12, 13,
13,
14
yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of the Philly musicians, influenced us. There's of course that Philly sound, but a lot of other influences crept in there. Then I started getting hip to people like Oscar Peterson and Herbie and Ramsey Lewis, and listening to those, and then we would also listen to stuff like Earth, Wind and Fire and Funkadelic, so and Heat Wave and
Commodores.
Commodores, Cool in the Gang,
Parliament. Oh yeah.
yeah, Brass Construction, and
Come function.
Oh
yeah,
man,
Side
like
Effect.
What's the voice? Switch.
Switch,
Yeah.
man. I can never get my
Yeah.
voice that high, but I try. I mean, I mean, no one alive haven't tried to at least try to hit that note at least twice.
At least one
I did
time.
it in the car. I think I did. No one can prove it.
So yeah, all of that is really a part of our musical upbringing. Part of our roots.
I mean, like, and to have that pedigree in what you guys have done, and now you have, for lack of a better term, musical children. Because now people look at you in that high regard that you looked at the ones that you came up there. So I would only imagine somewhere there's a 12-year-old listening to you guys like,
Yeah.
maybe one day. Like, how do you guys feel about that when people like myself or we're here with the Jazz Spectacular and people keep walking past you like, hey, man, not for nothing. Yada yada split, and they say what? How does that make you feel? Because
It feels
you're living
feels
legends.
awesome.
It feels great, man. It feels
Yeah.
great because I mean we idolized so many people growing up, and to have the younger generation feel the same way about us, man, is just a blessing.
Oh man, and like one of the this is such an look. I'm doing everything in my power to show my professionalism right now, but I'm nerding out inside. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm talking to Curtis and James, and this is a purely fan question, and I'm pretty sure you've been asked this a lot of times, but you guys been all over the world. You guys have tons of albums and tons of music. How do you guys make a set list? Like, how does that go? Like, because when you got so many hits, how does that?
You know what? It actually it's not so hard when you got a new album out because
Okay.
you got to feature so many of the new cuts on your show, right?
Right.
But as the album gets older, it gets harder to make a set list because people want to hear certain things. Even though you're still doing some of that new stuff, they want to hear some of the older stuff like Mallory Groove and 454 and Warm Weather and
Love Warm Weather.
club jazz and stuff like that. So it gets harder as the new album gets older. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so to decide what you're going to throw in the show for any particular area, because certain areas, like certain songs, certain songs were more popular in certain areas than others, and then we got to figure out, okay, who in the band knows these songs because we've been together 40 years, but they
Right.
haven't been with us for all that time. You know what I mean?
You
So
ever had any of those experiences where y'all two was really amped on playing a song, you're about to get into it, then you look over, oh wait, y'all don't know that one? Has that ever happened?
not really, because we pretty much know what they know
All right,
and
all
what
right.
they don't
Yeah.
know. You know,
It had
Look,
got that far, you know.
Yeah, knock on
It's like,
wood. I hope that never happens. But
Right.
you just like, yeah, you don't know warm weather. Okay, all right.
now
how
that
you-
one they know.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
should
that
know.
one they know,
Those
yeah.
those like the premium ones.
like for instance, a song like "Outside In," they all don't know that one.
Okay, like the deep cuts and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but how does that like? We talked about the new stuff, but how does that appeal to the older fans? Because you guys honestly get new fans every time you put out a new project. That's just how it works. But how does the older people who've been with you since day one, do they be like, no, no?
Well, I think because the music is still us, you know, so
Mhm.
it's still the type of vibe that we've given the older fans all along, I think. And so even though these are newer songs, it's still coming from the same hearts and still has that same spirit that is Pieces of a Dream. And that's what I think that people uh, tend to take to. And then, you know, our older fans seem to follow us along from album to album.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because even though you're getting new fans, you still have to please the older fans with the new music.
You're right.
So
You never go against the core,
Right,
the people who've
exactly,
been with you since day
exactly.
one.
Yeah.
But like Pieces of a Dream has had so many transitions, members who came and went,
Yeah.
and worked with so many people. What do you look for in those people who you may be working with in the future or part of Pieces of a Dream? What is that like? Is it something that they gotta have, or is it
Chops.
Oh,
They
okay,
gotta have
okay, all right. Let's keep it straight.
gotta have-
Keep it 100.
Versatility.
Talent, they got to be able to play.
Yeah,
and they have to
really.
be silly.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
They got to be silly. They got to be silly as the rest of us. And,
This has got to be somewhat all comedy too. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
Like,
And that makes sense because you're hanging out with these guys. You don't want
Exactly.
stone face all the time with you. And one of the things I want to touch on because we're getting around that time. And once again, thanks again for just giving us a little bit of your time. But
problem.
like, I gotta ask, why are you an Eagles fan?
oh man.
I mean, like this is burden.
Wait. We just said I grew up in Philly, man.
I know,
That's why I'm
but-
an Eagles fan.
but you
I'm a
moved.
Sixers fan and I'm a Phillies fan too.
Like,
All Philadelphia.
I understand, like,
and I've been in
the
sports since I was
LeBron-ness
like,
of it. When I was cutting the hem a little bit with LeBron, all right, but like,
hey, I'm,
like
I'm,
the
I'm a
Eagles.
Philly guy, man. Come on. I'm
guess.
a stone cold Eagles, Phillies,
But you
Sixers,
moved.
cheesesteak
You got-
cheesesteak eating fan.
I mean, like, cause you moved, and like, that was it. You did your time. You did your time. That's why I looked at it. I was just like, well, he moved, so he's not a dumb guy. I mean, like, but
I'm married to a Giants fan though, so
oh,
that's an unhappy household.
oh, that whole cause twice a season, it's just quiet.
Somebody ain't happy.
It's just quiet. It's just that's.
My wife is a stone cold sports fan too. So,
Oh man,
New York Knicks. And
like, and I know you come from the whole Cleveland thing and football. Do you just like, nah, I'm straight. I just don't need to watch it at all.
I'm a Steelers fan.
Smart man. The smart man.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a Steelers fan from like way back since I was like a kid. I don't know. I think it was maybe the colors or Franco Harris and and the bus and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, yeah, that era,
Now, one other thing I loved about you, I've been doing a little back channel, some homework, a little bit. Martial arts, I gotta know, man. Like, you're deep into martial arts.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Like, what's that? Like, I read Taekwondo.
Yeah, I have a black belt in Taekwondo, and I've also done Wing Chun Kung Fu
Uh-huh.
and Lama Kung Fu, and now Shaolin Kung Fu and Tai
Oh.
Chi.
So, just shot in the dark here. Have you ever had to use that on the road? Some manager, trying to hold your cash a little bit. You give them the 5-figure death punch, like You take 5 steps and he just fall
Yeah,
over.
exactly. You know about that was a 5-point exploding heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, no, I have not.
Okay, I'm just saying you got that in your
And
arsenal.
I had to activate.
Okay, like, boom. You got till next Thursday to get your affairs in order, sir. And one thing, in my homework, you guys, not only on stage, but you guys are dangerous in the kitchen. We got some. Y'all cook. Like I heard it a little bit while I was setting up.
Yeah, I gave Tony a recipe for a turkey burger, and he loved it. He said he did it, and he loved it.
Oh man! So can we the Pieces of a Dream cookbook? We expecting that anytime soon?
I thought about that. There might be something we can do.
I mean,
Yeah, might as well. What the heck?
I mean, you just sit back and you just get like 4 or 5 recipes together, and then all of a sudden, y'all on Rachel Ray. Y'all on the Food Network. This is before and after.
That's right.
Y'all
Pieces of a meal.
There it is. He got the name. He got the name. So apparently it's crossed his mind already. Y'all be your own musical guests.
That's right.
We gonna teach you how to make this meal, and we'll be back with Pieces of a Dream. See ya.
Musical cooking show.
Yeah.
But last and certainly not least, I got two more questions. This is about the career. When you sit back and you look at your career, like, what is it that you guys take to heart, or something that you feel like, oh my God, we did X, Y, Z, or is it something that you just hold with you, or you want to be remembered for? That's a better way of saying that.
Well, there's so many things that we're proud of that I think were really monumental. One is having opened for the great Count Basie.
Oh yeah.
And him saying that we were a hard act to follow. He was quoted in the paper the next day. He said, "Man, them guys are a hard act to follow." Like that, and playing 2 tunes with James Brown on the Lou Rawls Parade of Stars telethon.
Godfather
And,
Soul.
Yeah, we got to play 2 tunes with him, and he came around to the keyboard and said, "Hey, you got an organ sound on that piano?" I'm like, wait a minute, you got an organ sound in that piano? Okay, yeah, but I knew what he meant. Yeah. I pulled up an organ patch, and he took like an organ solo, and I was like, man, how you know you can play like that? And then he went on back around and hey, and, did his thing.
And I gotta know, Curtis, anything that stuck out to you?
Yeah, we did the Atlantic City Jazz Fest one time, and we opened up for Buddy Rich.
No, you good.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We opened up for Buddy Rich's band. And he had heard me play, and he was giving me big props. And then while he was playing, he was doing a solo and looking at me like, check this out, kid.
Oh, that little competitive urge. That little let me show you how it's done.
And instead of looking at like he was trying to show me up, it was like, okay, well, he felt I was worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the fact that he has to acknowledge what you did. Yeah.
And then he came down afterwards and said, man, he said, you keep doing what you're doing, because you got it going on.
That's
like,
all right.
You got it going on.
Wow.
And then the other one was when this young lady came down to me and said, listen, Miles Davis wants to know if you could play for him. And his nephew was playing for him at the time.
Oh, this is better than blood. Hey.
And this was at the Playboy Jazz Festival. And I was like, we were like just getting, we were on our second album and everything. And I was like, tell him I'm flattered, but, I got my own situation.
You didn't take it?
No, man. We were gigging.
I get it.
Gigging with Grover.
All right. If you got to pick, all right.
But yeah,
Well, talent thicker than water, apparently.
Grover's like
with
that.
Grover at the time. I'm like, I ain't dumping this.
Oh man, and
But that was flattering too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We grew up on the road with Grover.
Well, yeah, you got it. That's your hero. So I get that.
For sure.
Broken wrists and all.
Oh man, And lastly, I gotta ask, what advice do you have for the newcomers? There's a ton of talented guys who listen to us and listen to you guys. If you had to give them any advice just to
Okay.
put them on their way. Yeah, all right.
Well, let's see.
Play sports instead? Or
Yeah.
no.
Okay, okay.
No, that's just my traveling.
Well, you gotta first practice until you can't practice no more, and then practice again. Also, go and listen to people that are doing what it is that you're looking to do. If it's rock music, then go and see those shows. If it's jazz, go and see those shows. If it's contemporary jazz, smooth jazz, go to see those artists and support them, and do a lot of listening and do as much playing as you can. Go to like jam sessions and sit in and get heard, and yeah, I guess embrace the social media part of it. That could be that's a big part of it. Now we've had to coming from like before there was even cell phones. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
To where it is today. And having to adapt as older adults ourselves. So that's something that you can't avoid.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, my entire thing is based on social media. So like I have to now. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
what they say, get with the times or get left behind, And
Yeah.
that's a good reason of why like newer generations, myself included, can know some of your stuff. Like we can dig through the crates as much as we want, but I follow you guys on Twitter, and if y'all make an announcement, that's kind of sort of how I knew about the new album. The new album, because you had the countdown, and you
Yeah.
would show
Right, that
up.
was all social media, yep.
Yeah, and that was all social media. So yeah,
The other thing, I think that in this business, you got to have somewhat of a thick skin because you're going to go. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs in this business, and for people starting out, sometimes could be more downs than ups. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But you got to stay persistent. If this is really what you want to do, don't get discouraged enough that you throw in the towel. You know what I mean? If this is what you want to do, this is what you love to do, if this is your passion, don't let nobody tell you you can't do it. You
That's
know what I
real.
mean? Stay persistent about it, and like James said, practice, practice, practice. Because that can only make you better.
all right. Hey, wise words from guys who done did it, and you guys been doing it for, like I
Yeah.
said, over 4 years.
And
And
one last thing, I was
Yeah.
like, there's no shortcuts. You can't just get to where you can't just be where you want to be. You
Right.
have to get there. You have to grow to that point. There are no shortcuts, and like Kurt said, you got to have a thick skin. It's not an easy thing, and yeah, if your heart ain't in it, then yeah, it's not gonna work.
I feel you.
Yeah, don't waste your time
Yep.
if your heart ain't in it.
I feel you. And like I said, thank you guys so much. Great advice. I didn't ate up so much of your time already. I want to thank you guys, Curtis, James, man. Thank you so much for
It's a
just being on the
pleasure.
show.
Thank you.
And we
if-
would like to thank all of our fans for keeping us around for 40 years. Because the question you asked is, how do we stay around this long? Our fans keep us around. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
that buy our records, people that love our music, and people that come to see our shows. That's what keeps us around this long.
That's real, man. Thank you, man. And hey, I'm still gonna keep listening. I know where to send the child support checks to. But I'm expecting it because there's some cussing in this other album. When we get that babysitter, if something happened.
Might be some new pop.
Yeah. So I know exactly where the checks coming from. That's all y'all.
You're
That's all. But thank you guys so much.
Thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time to interview us.
All right.
Thank you.